Looking for a great place for breakfast or lunch? Try the Harbor Cove Cafe, the hidden treasure at the end of Spinnaker Drive. Located in the beautiful Ventura Harbor, this remarkable gem is locally owned and operated, serving a wide selection of breakfast and lunch favorites. With jaw-dropping views of the beautiful Ventura Harbor, Ventura's famous two trees, and the Topa Topa Mountains, what more could you ask for? Well, how about a full espresso bar and delightful tropical libations mixed up by our own Dr. Shocker? And with their pet-friendly patio, even man's best friend can enjoy the sights and sounds of this unique destination. Pair all of this with the delicious food offered here, and you've got a match made in heaven. Visit Harbor Cove Cafe online at harborcovecafe.net or give them a call at 805-658-1639. Harbor Cove Cafe, located at 1867 Spinnaker Drive in the Ventura Harbor. We'll see you there.
Now it's time for Backseat Mogul with R. Scott Bolton. He talks about showbiz because showbiz won't talk about him.
Showbiz is a cruel and shallow money trench, a long plastic hallway where thieves and pimps run free and good men die like dogs for no good reason. There's also a bad side.
This is the Backseat Mogul Show live here on Rough Edge FM and Rough Edge Studios on YouTube. I am R. Scott Bolton. I am the Backseat Mogul, and this is the show where we talk about show business. Sitting to my right, none other than Johnny D. Johnny, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Scotty B. How are you?
I am doing just fine. So today we're doing our annual turkey show.
Can I interject something there?
We haven't even been 30 seconds into the show, and you're already interrupting me.
I've always included on the show notes, the show note.
The really big shoe. It's a really big shoe.
Notes. Show newts. I always start off with good morning. It's number one. Number two is breakfast. But yet I have not said anything about breakfast in quite a while. So it's good breakfast this morning. Thank you.
It was Jack in the Box tacos, man. I'm not sure how good it was.
Hey, it's Jack in the Box tacos.
They, I don't know why, but the Coke was $1 today.
Ooh.
So I mean, it's a decent diet Coke Zero. So
you only got one?
Yeah, they don't last long in those cups.
Oh, not with you.
Yeah, that's my whole point. I'm already like half done with this thing.
Are they still using the plastic cups, or have they gone to the paper?
This
cups?
is plastic.
Because I heard that some fast food places are transitioning to paper.
Ventura
cups.
banned styrofoam cups. You can't have styrofoam cups in the city of Ventura. So a lot of them went to paper, and a lot of them went to plastic. Chick-fil-A has a really weird cup now. It's like it's a paper cup, but it's also got an extra paper sleeve around it, like, to help insulate it. It's hard to hold though. It's a weird cup. But anyway, why are we talking about cups? This is a showbiz show.
Well, that brings me to this question.
I'm gonna have a drink.
If you're at the theater and you get one of those paper cups, well, if it's a long movie like the one we saw a couple of weeks ago, which was Killers of the Flower Moon, great movie.
3.5 hours.
But of really great entertainment.
Okay, but neither one of our cups got soggy.
I know
we both had large drinks.
But were they those kind of paper cups? I mean, if they have their way, these paper cups, they're going to fall apart before the end of the movie if it's a long movie. And you won't be able to reuse the cups like you do plastic cups.
You don't reuse plastic cups. You just store them in your warehouse. How many plastic cups, and do not lie, have you got throughout that warehouse?
I plan on selling them back.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's a couple hundred, and I'm not exaggerating.
Which reminds
Neither
me.
are you, huh?
No, I'm not. I got a lot of plastic bottles I need to turn in.
You better do it. We just took ours in, got $120. But again, how many Coke Zero cans are in my
but you do the cans most of the time.
No, I do the cans and the bottles.
Because I strictly do I do have some cans, but the majority of what I have are the bottles.
You know, the cans are worth a lot more money.
I know that, but
you're lazy.
No, honestly, I
Is
just
it, what do you drink? You don't drink cans. You drink mostly bottles.
yeah.
What do you drink in the bottles? Water?
Yeah, flavored water and some sodas.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah,
And
I have.
I do. I got to turn them in.
You know me. I got 30 pounds of recyclable aluminum a week because I drink so much Coke Zero.
Do you still go to that one that's off Wells?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Because I know there's several others in the area, but I don't know if
It's just close.
If they have the same values.
I don't even care. It's close. I go get it over with. I came back with $120. I was a happy camper.
So with all that being said, Thanksgiving. You were started.
Yeah, it's my job to do that. You just keep.
I was just
we'll
helping.
get there. We did just. You know what? We need to play the intro. We haven't done that in a long time. I don't think it's even added to the thing. So give me a second here, folks, to make this right, because we want to make sure that it's right. Hold on. I promise you, it's not going to take long. But when you do a show, you want to do it professionally. And I know that I'm not doing that at all at this point, but you know what I'm saying. All right, here we go. So we're going to add this to the thing, and then we're going to do it's processing. That's what StreamYard does. It processes.
Do you want a drum roll?
No, here we go. It's time for a trailer check on the Backseat Mogul Show. That music in the background, that's me. I wrote that, created it. It's the theme from Rough Edge. Yes, that's true. Trailer check. We just, right before the show, Johnny and I both watched a trailer for a movie that I've been looking forward to for a long time. You remember the original Grindhouse movie?
Yes.
That was Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez. Thank you. And they and several other artists who interjected things in their trailers and what have you.
And the actors.
And a lot has come from those movies. We had the Machete movies that came from the Grindhouse. And there have been some other things that I can't remember at this very moment. But this latest one is Thanksgiving, the movie, which is out, I believe, this weekend. Thanksgiving, we just watched a trailer for. It is a horror movie by Eli Roth. And Johnny, what did you think of that trailer?
I want to see this movie.
It looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah. I mean, as I'm starting to watch it, I'm thinking Nightmare on Elm Street, all those slasher things
Jason.
all rolled into one.
Yeah. It looks
except without the mask.
And with the thing, well, there is a mask.
Oh yeah, that's right.
There is a mask. Yes. And it's Thanksgiving themed. So the murders are taking place with Thanksgiving things like corkscrews and corn. The corn plugs.
And a meat mallet.
But the meat mallet, you're right about the meat mallet. Johnny said, I don't remember seeing a meat mallet at Thanksgiving. And I'm like, I don't either. You don't pound a turkey.
The way the
you don't pound a ham.
Yeah. The way it depends on how you eat it. You pound it down.
I guess that's that. But then you don't need a meat mallet.
Well, that's just it. The narrator says,
the narrator was a sheriff.
Yeah. It says the things you find on the Thanksgiving table, a meat mallet.
But how much you want to bet there's an electric knife involved?
Oh,
it's going to be. Anyway, it's a slasher film from Eli Roth. And the most amazing thing about it, it's getting rave reviews. 83% of the critics said that they liked the Thanksgiving movie. They say it's a new horror classic. So we were really excited because we're going up to Bishop for Thanksgiving. And we were hoping and praying that Thanksgiving would be playing at the local theater there. It's not. So unfortunately, we're not going to be able to go see that, which is a little disappointing. But I will go see Thanksgiving. I think this sounds like a lot of fun. And I bet it does box office big time over the weekend.
It's at our corner theater.
Of course it is, yeah. So Thanksgiving by Eli Roth, sprang from the loins of the Grindhouse movie. It just amazes me. The Grindhouse movie tanked, which is sad because it was a lot of fun.
No, it was.
Tarantino's Death Proof was a fantastic movie on its own. Now, they released separate versions of both Death Proof and Planet Terror later that were the complete movies because the Grindhouse movies were edited down so they could fit two movies in a 2.5 hour period. Yeah. So the full movies are Death Proof full length is an amazing film. Like most of Tarantino's stuff. It's just really, really good.
As much as I enjoyed when I went to see Grindhouse, as much as I enjoyed both of those movies, I like Death Proof a lot more.
Oh yeah, Death Proof. Well, Planet Terror was Robert Rodriguez being Robert Rodriguez. He made a science fiction movie filled with gore and stupid stuff that he does, and he's really, really good at that. But Tarantino is a master filmmaker.
Yeah.
And Death Proof is just another example. I mean, have you seen the full-length version of Death Proof?
I don't think so.
You need to watch it. You need to watch it. It gives you so much more information on the characters and what have you. I might even watch that, even though we've been banned. I might try to watch that this weekend. Last Thanksgiving, we were up in Bishop. We were snowed in, not completely snowed in. We could have left, but you didn't want to go out, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were watching all these really cheesy horror movies that we found on local channels, and that Josh brought along, because Josh,
Mm-hmm.
has an enormous horror movie collection. And my mom has asked us this year, can we not watch those movies? So I guess we won't be watching the usual movies, but
this coming from this little bitty tiny woman. And when I say tiny, she's very tiny. Love her to death. But so tiny. When those two words she said.
Oh yeah, that's a whole nother story.
Yeah,
that's for another show. We can't tell that story here, but yeah, that's a classic story. Anyway, so that's what's going on there with that. So Thanksgiving, if you're looking for something to do Thanksgiving, and you're a horror movie fan, because apparently based on that trailer, you got to be a horror movie fan. Go check out Thanksgiving. But what I was going to start with is, because this is Thanksgiving, it's our annual Turkeys show. And we usually talk about the top 15 or so worst movies of all time. But I thought we'd play around with it a little bit here. And this year, we're going to talk about the top 15 worst movies of 2023. Now, I don't know how many movies have been released this year. Do you have any, take a guess on that, Johnny? How many movies would you think have been released
Not
this
as
year?
many as that we thought were going to be released because of the strike.
A lot of them have been pushed forward. Well, the strike didn't affect those as much. I mean, we're finally seeing COVID movies this year that were pushed back because of COVID, like Mission Impossible and Indiana Jones. Those were finally released. So some of those are delayed, but the strike didn't really affect anything that came out this year. It's going to affect things that come out next year. And the year after that, there's already been a lot of movies that have been pushed from 2024 to 2025. I don't know what 2024 is going to have to offer for us because of that strike, but thankfully it's all over and they're back working again. So that's the good news.
I did hear on the radio yesterday, as a matter of fact, on ABC, certain TV series, they're not going to be back on the air with new content until January, February.
Well, that makes sense because they have been out of production. So they just went back in November, John. You think they can get finished by then?
Of course.
No. Oh no, too much work going on. But they're working on it. And so yeah, we'll get new stuff starting in January, but I don't know how movies take a lot longer to produce. A movie can take 2-3 years to produce. So
back to your question, I have no idea how many movies have actually been released.
Let's just assume 5 a week. That's probably, I don't know how that's that bad. And we're in week, what week is this? 48. So let's say 200 movies released so far. So out of those 200 movies, we're going to look to see what the top 15 worst movies are. And by the way, we're going to be ending the show probably a little early today because it is National Novel Writing Month. And I got to get some work done today. I'm way ahead of the game, but I also have the Thanksgiving holidays coming up. So
how many pages are you in?
About 190, I think.
Out of how many?
Well, it's not pages, it's words. I'm at 37,000 words and I need to hit 50 in order to be counted.
You'll do it.
So yeah, I'll do it by Monday.
I have no doubt in my itty bitty mind. Wait, did I say that right?
Johnny, I've done it for 13 years. The odds of me not doing it this year are pretty slim.
Duh.
Even though I was worried because
have you ever not finished?
No, I have not.
Well, there you go.
I was worried because with Doug going to Costa Rica, my brother moving to Costa Rica, and other things going on, I thought, man, am I going to actually have time this year? But I've had more than time, so it's all worked out okay. Anyway, worst movies of all time. Let's just talk first the worst movies of all time. What's the worst movie you've ever seen, John? And I think I know the answer to this. Choked him up, apparently.
That was a movie that you and I went to go see a screening of it with cast and crew and obviously
film reviewers.
And I always like to start when we talk about that, I always like to start with Scotty. Always remember, because Scotty took me to a lot of movies when he was doing movie reviews on a regular basis.
Yeah, and there were some ground rules.
Yeah, and one of them was we do not talk or laugh during the movie.
No, if it's a comedy, you laugh.
Yeah, but out of respect.
Yes.
And this particular movie definitely was not meant to be a comedy.
It was not.
But when you're sitting in your seats and you're trying to keep a straight face, trying to keep the smirks to a minimum, but everybody around you, cast and crew,
The people who made the movie were in the theater with
are
us.
laughing their butts off.
And not because it was funny, because it wasn't supposed to be funny.
No, it was a drama.
It was just bad.
May I say the name?
Of course you may. I asked you to.
Okay. Body of Evidence.
Body of Evidence with Madonna, Ann Archer, Willem Dafoe, other people in it as well.
Oh yeah, really good names as far as actors go, with the exception of Madonna. I'm just not a big fan of her.
She was good once.
Yeah,
but she was her dreams of being a movie star were a little beyond her grasp.
But yeah, the names. Who's the guy that played Skeletor in the first?
Dolph Lundgren. No, it's Frank Langella.
Yeah, Frank Langella. A great actor.
Frank was in that.
Yeah. One of my favorite actresses was Ann Archer. I love that woman. I love her acting. I think the first thing I remember seeing her in was Emeralds with Ryan O'Neal.
You know, I think we need to watch Body of Evidence again to see if it's as bad as we remember.
So we can get another good laugh.
Well, maybe maybe we'll be stunned. Maybe we're like, oh, we've been so wrong. That movie's excellent.
No, we'll get to laugh out loud on this one.
It was bad. When you're sitting there with the people who make the movie and they're laughing derisively, that was not a good thing. I want to look at something here real quick. See, when I think of bad movies, my mind automatically goes to something like Plan 9 from Outer Space or something along those lines. But Body of Evidence is a good choice. Let's see what Rotten if they have a review on Rotten.
I've seen clips from other movies, like that one guy. I can't remember what his name is. Terrible. He was an actor, director, producer, whatever. The only line I can remember from is "Lisa, you're killing me." It was just I actually delivered that line better than what he did.
I don't know who he's talking about.
I can't remember it either, but whenever they talk about it on TV, they show this guy and it's so terrible. And I'm sure there's other really bad movies that never should have seen the light of day.
I'm not so sure about never seen the light of day. I like bad movies because you don't often get to see. It would be a pity if you didn't get to see a bad movie. Bad movies make you realize there are good movies. And they're fun. They are.
As bad as Bad Taste was, that was a good movie.
Okay, Bad Taste, not a bad movie. What are you saying?
No, I'm saying that was a good movie.
Okay, you just said as bad as it was.
Well, this is its title, Bad Taste.
Okay, nice try. So I looked up Body of Evidence on Rotten Tomatoes to see if maybe John and I were wrong. Maybe there was something redeeming about that movie after all. It got 8% good critics reviews, 23% for the audience. The audience is usually totally more forgiving than the critics. And here's the general consensus of, I lost it already. Sorry. The general consensus: Body of Evidence's sex scenes may be kinky, but the ludicrous concept is further undone by the ridiculous dialogue. The dialogue is what killed that movie. It was terrible. Let's read some more reviews here just for kicks. David Denby of New York Magazine said this movie makes Basic Instinct look like a masterpiece. Jason Bailey of Flavor Wire said the goal of this odd period in her career is achieved. You get ample opportunity to see what Madonna looks like having sex, or at least what she wants you to think she looks like in those private moments. Mark Salisbury of Empire Magazine says it's an erotic thriller that's strangely unerotic and devoid of thrills. This is, however, mercifully short at 100 minutes. So there's the good news, folks. It's nice and short for you. Jonathan Rosenbaum of the Chicago Reader says, while he may be marginally better at directing kinky sex scenes than Instinct's Paul Verhoeven, Adele is stuck with a fairly ho-hum script by Brad Merman. Okay, ho-hum script is probably a nice thing to say about that. One more we'll go through here too. It's Joe Lipset from Bloody Disgusting. Body of Evidence isn't good. It's too slow, and its courtroom theatrics feel out of step with the evolution of Rebecca and Frank's relationship. But it's certainly not the trash fire that critics and the lackluster box office would have you believe. So there's a guy who kind of likes it.
Kind of. Can you pull up your review?
Oh no, it's long gone. I don't even know where to look.
Do you even remember what you?
I don't know. I wish I did. It was for Hollywood Hotline back then, I think. Yeah. But here's my favorite one more and we're done. Caffeinated Clint from Movie Hole said, I'd rather eat my own liver than sit through this again. It gives you the example. Now, there are some good reviews. Here's one. David Anson from Newsweek, one of the top critics in the world. Body of Evidence won't be remembered for classic plotting or brilliant legal gambits, but give it its due, it holds one's attention. Well, yeah, because you're laughing hysterically.
Yeah, yeah, and you want to say, okay, how ridiculous can it get? Can it get any more ridiculous?
Yeah.
I mean, is it any wonder why Dino De Laurentiis Productions really tanked? Now, he did produce some good movies, a few.
Yeah.
But this one,
A broken clock's right twice a day.
And the thing is, that's probably one of the reasons the stock I had in Dino De Laurentiis Group, DDG, I think that was what it was called. I lost my shirt on that one.
Yeah, I was looking for Hollywood Hotline to see if my review was posted anywhere, but it's apparently long gone. So I'm sure it's on my hard drive at home, but I don't know. All right, so that was the biggest. That's a bad movie. That is a bad movie, and there are tons of bad movies. I actually enjoy watching bad movies. My wife gets mad at me sometimes because I'm watching a bad movie, but there's a reason I'm watching a bad movie. You know, I like to think about what the characters, no, not what the characters, what the actors and the writers and the directors were thinking. Mm-hmm. For example, we were watching an episode of Suits last night, and I fell in love with Suits. We're almost finished with it, and the thing I've noticed is the later seasons not as good as the early season. And we were watching an episode last night that was so poorly written. We were like, this is the worst the show's ever been.
Which episode?
It was terrible.
Just give me.
I'm trying to give you an idea. It's the episode where Lewis's, and I can't remember her name. That would help a lot. Katrina is having trouble working with her associate because they're falling in love. And so she has to deal with that. And there's a scene where they're in a deposition, and it was horrible. It was, instead of talking about the deposition, they of course were talking about their relationship.
I remember that episode.
It was horrible. And it's too bad because most of the time that show is excellent. And by the way, Louis Litt, is that Rick Crawford?
I think so.
From Suits is in Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So that makes it worth watching.
I started to say he's in Turkey.
He's probably
terrible.
He's probably been his share of turkeys too.
But no, he was great in Suits.
He's one of those guys who you can't imagine anybody else playing that role. He has one of the most expressive faces when he's playing Louis Litt, and it's very good. Yeah,
he reminds me a lot. Maybe it's because of his short hair. I'm not sure, but he reminds me of an actor who he passed away a few years ago. He was in NCIS Los Angeles, and he played one of the directors. It came from a famous family, and I forgot what his name is. Oh, I hate it when I do
Houston.
That. No, who? What?
Houston.
No, it wasn't
Houston. You said famous director.
No, not
Rick Hoffman. I want to make sure I got his name right because he deserves it. Rick Hoffman, very good in Suits, excellent in Suits.
Real quickly, Wendell Pierce is in that. Oh no, you're looking at.
I'm looking at Suits.
Real quickly, would you pull up NCIS Los Angeles cast?
I don't know how to spell that.
I don't know. It's XYZ maybe. And they paid tribute to him for a long time after he passed.
Miguel Ferrer.
Yes. For some reason, I don't know, in Miguel Ferrer's younger days, every time I see Rick Hoffman, I don't know why, but that's what I think of because they both had real short hair.
I see no resemblance whatsoever, except for the short hair. Very different actors. Miguel Ferrer was great, though.
Yes, he was. He was.
All right, so the worst movies of 2023, the top turkeys for Thanksgiving for 2023. We're starting at number 15, Magic Mike's Last Dance.
I never saw.
Did you ever see any of the Magic Mike movies?
I just wasn't interested in them.
They're like Barbie. They're not designed for you. Trust me, a movie about male dancers not designed for.
You know
Johnny
what I
D.
think turned me off of seeing that kind of movie?
A man naked?
Great cast. No.
So you like that part?
Oh yeah, okay. Sure. Right. Every time I look in the mirror, I go.
No, I said a man naked.
I was going to say I shudder. No. When I used to work for Glenn.
Glenn was a television movie producer that worked in Santa Monica, I think.
And he was not a bad guy. Seriously,
he was not. I liked Glenn.
Yeah. But whenever I would go into the lab, and when I say lab, it was a mastering house. When producers and directors would bring in their product, They would master to make sure that the voice was synced up to what was actually being done, the movement of the mouse and all that. It was actually quite entertaining. But unfortunately, a lot of the stuff they did was adult or orient. I can't say that word.
Adult oriented. A lot of they didn't produce it.
No, they didn't. They mastered it. But when you see so much porn, whether it was regular porn or gay porn, I just didn't want to see anything like that. And that I think that's one of the reasons I had no interest in seeing those movies.
You were burned out on sex.
Exactly. Pretty much, I was burned out on sex.
Oh, that'll do it. It's
watching.
Not that porn is real sex, by the way.
No,
but
I was burned out on watching sex.
Yeah.
Put it that way.
All right, I get it. I just discovered something kind of sad. Looks like Glenn passed away in 2009.
Oh no!
It doesn't say why, but
in 2009.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Good
well,
guy.
I do know that he had that problem.
Yeah, that's him.
With because wasn't he in an accident a while back?
He was. Yeah, I'm sure that contributed to the whole thing.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's sad news.
Well, God bless.
So anyway, yeah, that makes sense, Johnny, because especially the movies that he was copying.
Well, that's 2 years after Bert.
No, it wasn't. It was 1 year after Bert.
Well, if Bert was 07.
He was not. He was
08.
Yeah.
Oh, for some reason I thought it was 07.
That's because you've been drinking.
Not enough.
Yeah.
And there's a bar right there. Sorry.
Anyway, Magic Mike's Last Dance, the third sequel in the Magic Mike sequel, and apparently the 15th worst movie of 2023.
Oh, wait.
So far. We got to say so far.
I might want to go see that. Selma Hayek's in it.
Selma Hayek. You know, how bad is it if Selma Hayek's in it?
Okay.
And it's bad because she makes any movie watchable.
Yeah, there's different sex scenes I will watch.
Yeah, she's right there in the cover too.
Oh, yeah. She, I fell in love with her. She did a movie with Matthew Perry.
Yeah.
And that's when I fell in love with her.
I remember my breath catching in my throat when I saw her for the first time in
the vampire movie.
Yes. What the hell's the name of that?
From Dusk Till Dawn.
From Dusk Till Dawn.
Why should I can remember that?
I'm glad you did. Because she did that dance sequence and it literally, I literally remember my breath catching in my throat.
With that white snake.
So beautiful.
Yeah.
She's so beautiful. And she's still just as beautiful today.
Yes, she is.
It's just amazing. Number 14 on our list is Devil's Peak. I have not heard of Devil's Peak. It stars Billy Bob Thornton and Robin Wright. Big name stars there. Yeah. It's set in North Carolina's Appalachian Mountains. 18-year-old Jacob McNeely is torn between appeasing his meth-dealing kingpin father and leaving the mountains forever with the girl he loves. I'm going to guess that the meth-dealing kingpin father is Billy Bob Thornton.
Right. And I'm going to guess that Robin Wright is his wife. And
you'd think so, because it can't be the one that the 19-year-old wants to run away with.
That's got to be Hopper Penn, and the girl's got to be Caitlin Naken. Naken? Oh, almost sounds like naked.
It. By the way, Magic Mike's Last Dance has a 5.2 rating on Internet Movie Database, while Devil's Peak is 5.1.
Oh, worse.
We are going from Internet Movie Database, in case you were wondering. The number 13th worst movie of 2023, and I would disagree heartily with this, is Meg 2: The Trench. Okay. Is Meg 2 a masterpiece? No. Is it a hell of a lot of fun? Yes. Especially if you're a Jason Statham fan like I am, because just to see Jason Statham riding a wave, holding an explosive harpoon, and racing toward a 100-foot great white shark, take my money.
Okay, now I have to ask you this. What is the difference between that, as far as the effect, and the scene in that Fast and Furious movie where The Rock flicks?
I'll tell you what the difference is. Here's what the difference is. Meg 2 knows it's funny. It's tongue in cheek. It's like, okay, look how ridiculous this is. We got Jason Statham on a wave going towards the shark. Isn't that great? Whereas the Fast and Furious movies are all, yes, that's very serious. That's what happened. It's all about family. Shut up. Your movies suck. I'll take Meg 2 any day.
And Jason Statham, I mean, what was the two movies he did were
Crank.
Oh, those movies were so good. So funny.
When the first movie ends up with your hero falling out of a helicopter and splatting on the Los Angeles pavement, and the sequel starts out with a van pulling up and a bunch of guys getting out with the snow shovels and scooping him off the pavement, you know you're in for a treat.
That was so funny.
God.
With snow shovels in Los Angeles.
I remember we went to that movie, and afterwards you went, you did nothing but laugh that whole movie. I go, of course I did. It was awesome. All right, number 12 on our list of worst movies of 2023, Ennisman.
I don't know.
Haven't heard of that. I don't recognize any of the stars in there, at least off the top of my mind. Set in 1973 on an uninhabited island off of the Cornish coast, a wildlife volunteer's daily observations of a rare flower turn into a metaphysical journey that forces her, as well as the viewer, to question what is real and what is a nightmare. And if I had to define nightmare at this moment, I would say watching this movie. Doesn't that sound like just incredibly boring?
Yeah.
Let's go watch the plants grow. I don't know. Haven't seen it.
Okay, I got a big question.
Yeah.
Looking at the rating of that one, I'll let you say
5.7 on the scale.
Why is it better if it's number 12?
I don't know. And if you look at the Metascore is pretty good. The Metascore is 78.
And Meg 2 has a 5.1.
Yeah.
But this one has 5.7. What did the first two
You have to understand, I never said that was going to be in order. The movies are just in order as they are. So
okay,
I don't know I don't know if they put them in order by the Internet Movie Data rating or the Metascore rating or just on somebody's opinion.
Oh, okay.
But so far, I kind of like this list.
What does where it has the star and says rate? What is that?
I don't know where you're pointing.
Right next to Metascore.
Oh, that's if I wanted to give it a star.
Oh, okay,
I don't want to give it a star.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, number 11.
You don't want to give Meg 2 a star?
Well, I want to give it more than that because I think it deserves better.
Oh,
but I'm not signed in, so I can't do that right
now.
Number 11 on the list, Ghosted. I actually saw Ghosted, and I agree it should be number 11 on the list. 5.8 on the Internet Movie Database, 34 on Metascore. Cole falls head over heels for an enigmatic Sadie, but then makes the shocking discovery that she's a secret agent. Before they can decide on a second date, Cole and Sadie are swept away on an international adventure to save the world that is so ridiculous. You can't believe what you're seeing. It stars Chris Evans. It stars Ana de Armas. It stars Adrian Brody. How can it be bad?
But it does say it's a comedy.
Yeah, it better be. It was so over the top and ridiculous that it was like a Fast and the Furious movie.
I hope it's on either Netflix or Amazon Prime because I'd like to see
currently on Apple Plus TV. So you're out of luck, dude.
Yeah.
Number 10. We're in the top 10 now of our list of worst films of 2023. This is a movie by Charlie Day from I wanted to say Hot in Cleveland, but it's not that one. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia is what I was looking for. A fool for love becomes an accidental celebrity only to lose it all. Stars Charlie Day, Ken Young, Kate Beckinsale, Adrian Brody.
Another Adrian Brody.
I need you folks to understand something. Because so far, Adrian Brody has been in 2 of the worst movies of 2023. But I have that man's back because I think he's one of the best actors, the most watchable actors in Hollywood.
Wasn't he in Piano? The Piano?
Adrian Brody?
Yeah.
I don't remember him from that. But,
that was a World War II thing.
Maybe. I don't remember.
Didn't he get an Oscar?
Yes, he did, but that was for something else.
Okay. Yeah, I think it was The Piano he was in.
We'll look up Adrian Brody real quick because he's one of my, The Pianist.
The Pianist. Well,
that's not the same movie. Yeah. Grand Budapest Hotel, Detachment Midnight in Paris, Asteroid City.
Well, what's the one he got?
Poker Face. Oh, he was so good in Poker Face. Blonde. See, I haven't seen Blonde, and I would watch it just because he was in it. I love Adrian Brody. I think, like I said, I think he's one of the best in the business. So The Piano was Harvey Keitel.
Okay.
Naked too often.
Okay, I don't want to see that one.
So number 10 on the list, The Fool's Paradise, just apparently doesn't work. So we'll leave that there for now.
Good cast.
Number 9 on the list, 65. Now, see, I wanted to see this because it sounded like a fun movie. It's about an astronaut who crash lands on a mysterious planet, only to discover he's not alone. Well, he's not alone because there's freaking dinosaurs everywhere and he's got to shoot them. Okay, sounds like fun, right?
Mm-hmm.
Apparently it wasn't very good. Adam Driver is the big star in that. Ariana Greenblatt is in it as well. It's currently on Netflix. And again, I thought it sounded like fun. I thought it would have been entertaining. Why is it called 65?
because he went back. He didn't really land on a foreign planet. He landed on
That's probably
Earth
how it ends.
65 million years ago.
That's probably exactly how it ends. He probably comes up and finds the Statue of Liberty. Damn you to hell. Yeah.
I mean,
I still want to see it.
If that is what it is, really, how many times? Let Charlton Heston rest in peace.
Do you remember Tim Burton's Planet of the Apes movie?
Yes, with Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, it was fine until the end.
Yes.
And I was so disappointed at the end because I'm going to ruin it for you folks so you don't have to watch it if you don't want to.
Spoiler alert.
They finally get back to what they think is their Earth. And of course, they're not showing anybody's faces. Everybody's coming to find out what this astronaut landing is all about. And you're going, please don't be monkeys. Please don't be apes. Be lizard people. Or be aliens with tall foreheads, and it's the monkeys. And you're like, well, that's disappointing. And then, I was going to make a joke and I couldn't think of any monkeys' names. Mickey Dolenz walks up. That's the best. I'm sorry.
Well, the thing is, this spaceship that Mark Wahlberg's character's in, it's a one-man spaceship.
Oh, yeah.
It was could have been made by Harley Davidson.
Maybe.
It crash lands at the Lincoln Memorial.
Well, Lincoln could have been an ape
and
in another universe.
The statue of Lincoln is actually a statue of a monkey dressed in a suit that looks like Lincoln.
Wouldn't it have been better if it was lizards? It was a whole different, it's like he escaped from the Planet of the Apes and he ends up on Planet of the Lizards. And by the way, the Planet of the Apes movies they've done since then with the CGI makeup and everything, freaking awesome. They're all so good. But, Damn You to Hell is always the best ending. Number 8 on the list, Murder Mystery 2.
I haven't seen 2, but I've seen 1 and I enjoyed 1.
Adam Sandler, Jennifer Aniston, Mark Strong, and Melanie Laurent. I mean, that is an incredible cast. And by the way, it's 5.7 rating on Internet Movie Database, a 44 on Metascore. I don't care. It was bad, and I loved every minute of it. It was just good, silly fun. It's not as bad as some of Adam Sandler's other stuff, like The Ridiculous Six. Oh my God, how did they ever get made? I know how it got made. It was number 1 on Netflix for like 3 weeks. But
because Netflix paid for it. That's how it got made.
Well, I know, but it's, why would you, if you were Netflix, this is the movie you're giving us? But they put it on and everybody watched it. So it doesn't matter what I think.
I like Adam Sandler. I've liked him ever since he was on Saturday Night Live.
I absolutely despise Adam Sandler. I hate his guts all the way down to the intestines because he has a life that I want. How great would it be to be so successful that all you get to do is play with your friends and get paid millions of dollars for it? What a great life to have. And by the way, I hear that Adam Sandler is a terrific guy. He's comes to town occasionally and he's like on the streets and he always stops and talks to people. He did a show out here at the local comedy shop that was a secret show, but he showed up and did it. And my son went and thought he was awesome. He's just one of those guys who, like, if I had to choose a life, that's the life I would want. I would want to be Adam Sandler, writing movies with my friends, acting in movies with my friends, getting paid millions of dollars to do it. He's got no worries about where his future is going because he just keeps making movies for Netflix, and he makes some of the stupidest movies for Netflix, and then he makes freaking awesome movies for Netflix, movies that mean something. Adam, you lucky bastard.
And I have to tell you, you said you want to act in movies. Actually, Scotty, there's at least 2 movies I can think of that Scotty acted in. One of them is Forklift Drivers from Hell. If you can find that movie, you gotta watch it.
Go to YouTube and look up Forklift Drivers from Hell and look for Boulder. That's me.
And the other movie, which I actually
you were in too,
but I was cut because of time constraints.
Yes, but the bottom line is this. You were dead anyway, so it didn't matter.
I know, but I was the perfect dead person.
He was very good as a dead person.
This movie was called Searching for Inspiration.
Also on YouTube.
And we shot that movie in a haunted restaurant.
We did, and I met the ghost.
Mm-hmm.
They told us this restaurant was haunted. and I don't believe, I kind of believe in ghosts, but you know, I learned a lot from Richard Sennett, who is our local ghost hunter. He says that most of the ghosts you meet or see, you don't realize they're ghosts because they look just like you. They don't look like people under sheets. You can't see through them. All that stuff they just look like you. So we're at that restaurant that night, and it's 3 a.m, maybe 4 a.m. even. And I'm alone in the back, and the back door opens up. Now, we had made sure that every single door in the building was locked because the owner was generous enough to let us use his restaurant. And
the name of that restaurant was Sandy's.
It was. And we wanted to make sure everything was safe. So we checked and double checked the doors. But suddenly the door opens and this man walks in. And I'm all, hey, you can't be in here. And he's like, I just coming in for a drink. I go, no, you can't be here. We're closed. No, I just coming in for a drink. I said, you can't be here. And I went over, he backed out, and I closed the door and locked it again. And then it wasn't until a couple of days later I realized that was probably the ghost. Because how'd that guy get in? The door was locked. Why would he come in drinking at 4 a.m?
Same reason that we used to drink at 4 a.m.
Well, that's in Vegas. That's in Vegas. That's not in the heart of Oxnard.
But I got to tell you,
that was a weird situation.
Searching for inspiration, we filmed it at the restaurant called Sandy's, which unfortunately the building is still there, but it's under a different name. Yeah. Sandy's was it was like a steakhouse, that type of restaurant.
Pretty famous, pretty popular.
And now I can't remember what it's called, but I believe it's a Mexican restaurant.
Bob's Hoagies.
I said Mexican restaurant.
Senor Bob's Hoagies.
There you go. But apparently it's quite popular because when I used to do Lyft, I'd drive by there. It was, especially the weekends, it was always
the Mexican place.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. It's a good location and whatever. But anyway, that was we did that for the 48-hour film festival, and our film was the first one to get knocked out of the running, which really pissed me off because
especially when you see what won, it's like, really?
Yeah. The thing is, I think we made a mistake, and I'm not certain this is what got us kicked out. But we hired a film composer, and he wasn't supposed to start the music until the day that the film production started. And he gave us an orchestrated score.
Oh.
And I think that knocked us out of the running because we shouldn't have used an orchestrated score.
No, what I was going to say, you should have not cut my scenes. Should have cut something else.
You were already dead. It didn't matter. That was the only scene that made sense to cut.
You should have cut the scenes that of the family eating and the golf ball pulled. Should have the ping pong ball at on my table.
We had to use props to make sure that we got we did the film in the 48 hours, and one of them was a ping pong ball, which we had some guy pluck out of his soup. It was pretty funny, actually.
Yeah, it was. But here I am. I got my sunglasses on, and even in between takes, I never moved. You couldn't see my eyes open because I had my sunglasses on, but I never moved. Even when they said, okay, moving on, I would still not move.
Johnny was
dead.
He was
method actor.
Yes, that's the word I was looking for. He's a method actor. Number 7 on our list, the top 15 list of worst.
Before we got
to make it move.
I know. But first,
you don't.
Speaking of Scotty, go to Amazon.com. And if you have Amazon Prime, you're going to get free delivery of R. Scott Bolton books. So look up R. Scott Bolton books. His most recent is called Death and the Mogul. Or is it Mogul and the Death? Death and the Mogul.
Death and the Mogul.
My favorite is Dead Dick. Also, for those who aren't over Halloween yet, you want Neath. And there's a host of other books by R. Scott Bolton on Amazon.com. And
if you're writing this month with National Novel Writing Month, get to it. We're running out of time here. As I said, I'm down to what do we got left? We got 12 days left, and I'm going to be gone 5 of them. So I only got 7 days. I have 7 days to write 15,000 words. Piece of cake. I'll get it down. Number 7 on our list of worst movies of 2023 is the remake of House Party. 4.4 rating on the Internet Movie Database, 41% on the Metascore. From New Line Cinema comes your VIP ticket. I'm not even going to read that. It's a tagline. Stars Jacob Lattimore, Tosin Cole, Karen Oblom, and it was apparently an insult to the original movie rather than an asset. So number 7 on the list, House Party 2023. Number 6 on the list. I think I saw this, but I don't even remember. Your Place or Mine. It
I
stars
vaguely remember it.
Reese Witherspoon and Ashton Kutcher. Two long-distance best friends change each other's lives when she decides to pursue a lifelong dream, and he volunteers to keep an eye on her teenage son. I think it's probably one of those movies that falls into the Hallmark category. If you can stomach Hallmark movies, and some of us can't, that this movie's okay for you. But
Reese Witherspoon and Ashton Kutcher. I mean,
it's a good cast.
But
5.7 on IMDb, 49% on Metascore.
I vaguely remember the title, but that's all.
It's a Netflix movie. I'm pretty sure that I did watch it because I think I reviewed it in KVTA, but I don't remember it much at all. Number 5 on the list. We're in the top 5 worst movies of 2023. Wow. Top 5. Number 5 is One True Loves. What? One True Loves? That's not even grammatically correct. A woman is unexpectedly forced to choose between the husband she had long thought dead and the fiance who has finally brought her back to life.
Okay, that's... How many times has that been done?
Pass. Yeah, no thanks. It's currently on Hulu if you'd like to watch it. 5.4 on IMDb, 35 on Metascore. Yeah,
I've never heard of these. By the way, never heard of these actors. Doesn't mean anything, but I just never have.
Number 4 on the list, and I get it, but I disagree. 80 for Brady. Now here's the cast: Lily Tomlin, Jane Fonda, Rita Moreno, Sally Field. You might have heard some of them. Doesn't have Tom Brady on the list, but Tom Brady is in the movie as well. Yes, it's an utterly ridiculous movie. Yes, it's comically bad at some points, but how can you sit through a movie with that cast without getting at least one smile on your face? You're gonna. I did. I actually, as bad as it was, I actually enjoyed it. It's 5.8 on the IMDb, 52% on Metascore, and John doesn't like it because he hates Tom Brady.
No. Did they talk about the Deflategate?
No, of course not. Tom Brady produced this movie. Do you think he talked about Deflategate?
I didn't realize he produced it.
Yes, he was one of the producers at least. So, yeah. And by the way, it's listed as biography, comedy, drama. It ain't no biography. It's just a silly comedy.
Well, if it was biography, they should.
It ends with Brady losing the Super Bowl, but fortunately, these women show up, and Lily Tomlin gets on the microphone from the coach's office with Tom. Tom, you got to do this. You got to pull it off for us. I'm like, oh, come on. But you know what? It's fun. Just enjoy it. It's not the 4th worst movie of the year. I'll tell you that. Let's see what the top 3 are. Number 3 worst movie in 2023, Life Upside Down. Bob Odenkirk, right there. I'd watch it. Bob Odenkirk, I'd watch it. 3 couples who know one another are stuck at home during the beginning of lockdown. Jonathan, Clarissa, and Paul will see their lives turned upside down, forced to look at each other, and ultimately at themselves. 4.2 on IMDb, no rating on Metascore. I don't know. It doesn't seem like my kind of movie, but as I said, if Bob Odenkirk is in it, I'm going to watch it because he's a tremendous actor. Also stars Radha Mitchell and Danny Houston. You can currently watch it on AMC if you so choose. Life Upside Down. Number 2 on the worst movies of 2023, Children of the Corn. The film describes the events leading up to and including the massacre of the adults of a small town in Nebraska by their children after the adults' irresponsibility ruins the crop and the children's future.
I have a big question.
Yeah.
That says 2020. I thought these were of 2023.
It was probably made in 2020 and not released to 2023 because it sucks.
Because wasn't there like from the 60s or 70s?
No, from the 80s.
From the 80s.
It's based on a Stephen King story.
Okay.
And there was an original Children of the Corn, and there's like 1,000 of them. I will tell you this much. No matter how bad Children of the Corn is, it's better than Sharks of the Corn, which actually exists. If you don't believe me, look it up and see.
If it gets real hot and they've actually put sunscreen lotion on, do they pop?
God, I hope so. That'd be a great ending. That'd be a great ending. Pop, 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 pop. Children of the
would
Corn
be
is
good.
not one of Stephen King's best stories. It was never a good movie or any of the sequels either. Why would you bother to remake it? And I know the answer to that.
Puts
Money.
But if it'll put butts in the seat,
I think
they're
this was
gonna
more
do it.
if it'll sell streaming rights or
Mhm.
DVDs. But anyway, Children of the Corn, the number 2 worst movie of all time. Now, on to the number 1 movie, worst movie of 2023. I did a lot of research trying to find a good list of worst movies of 2023. This is the one I wound up on after looking at them. But they all had this movie as the worst movie of 2023. Every single list I found had this movie as the worst movie of 2023. And it is Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
I love the title.
Now, what happened with this movie is Winnie the Pooh fell into public domain.
Mhm.
After a certain number of years, everything falls into public domain,
Mhm.
which means instantly what? Everybody and anybody can make a Winnie the Pooh movie. So this director, Rice Freak Waterfield, decided to make Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. And its story is after Christopher Robin abandons them for college, Pooh and Piglet embark on a bloody rampage as they search for a new source of food. Now,
Please tell me it's animation.
it is not. 2.9 rating on IMDb, 16 on Metascore, and I got to see what Rotten Tomatoes is. So give me a second to look that up.
That's funny.
The sad news, however, is the movie was a big hit. So they're already working on a sequel and other spinoffs on other public domain movies. All right. So Rotten Tomatoes gives it a 3%. With the audience sitting at 50. Here's one of the reviews. Oh, bother. Let's see what else I want to read about this. The days of adventures and merriment have come to an end as Christopher Robin, now a young man, has left Winnie the Pooh and Piglet to fend for themselves. As time passes, feeling angry and abandoned, the two become feral. After getting a taste for blood, Winnie the Pooh and Piglet set off to find a new source of food. It's not long before their bloody rampage begins. It was written by this Rice Freak Waterfield, directed and produced by him as well. Here's some of the reviews. Made on a shoestring budget, and it shows.
Wait a minute. That says, and it shoes.
Yeah, it's a typo, John. I was avoiding it.
No.
You
The
don't-
fact that
I-
it says
of
made
course.
on a shoestring budget, that betcha he wrote it that way on purpose.
If he did, that's bad writing. Rather than being informed by a passion for the original characters or the desire to tap into their unexplored subtext, it coasts opportunistically on the novelty value of placing them in a gruesome context. Rice Freak Waterfield cloddishly desecrates your childhood and A.A. Milne's beloved classic with a dimly written, shoddily realized, substandard slasher whose artistic aspirations never reach beyond making a fast buck. It's exactly right. That's what this is all about. If you'd go down to the woods today, you'd better be blind drunk. There's another review. The film is so amateurishly made that it is often hard to see and hear what's going on. Not a complaint per se, and doesn't have much of a plot. So this guy's actually happy you can't hear and see what's going on. That's how. Here's another one. Makes you wish the Supreme Court would repeal its public domain copyright law. It's crazy.
All I can say is let's hope that by the time I just had it.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. It has to do with the public domain. Because I was going to say
Neath falls in the public domain?
oh no, that would be cool.
No, it wouldn't. It cost me money.
Well, no, then somebody would. Oh, that's true too.
Yeah.
No, this is a movie. It's got a beloved. Let's just hope that this particular person and anyone like him is not around when Toy Story falls into the public domain.
Oh God. It will. I want to know what the budget is for Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
Didn't it say shoestring budget?
Yeah. $100,000. So it cost $100,000 to make. It grossed $5 million. That's a smash hit. And yes, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey Part 2 will be released next year.
Mhm.
So
Now
sorry to inform all of you that.
explain what a smash hit from what it costs to produce or the budget
Well,
to what it makes.
If Indiana Jones had cost $100,000, the latest one, Dial of Destiny, had cost $100,000 to make, it would have been a smash hit because it grossed about $500 million. But it cost $300 million to make. So you basically need to make just a little over double your budget in order to break even.
So the fact that this one cost $100,000 and it grossed what?
$5 million.
So yeah,
it's a smash hit.
It's a smash hit.
Smash hit.
As bad as it is.
Big money. And that's all that matters. And that's, right now, horror films are the go-to films for studios because they're cheap to make and they can gross big. Look at the latest one, Frankie, Five Nights at Frankie's. Yeah. That movie cost $5 million and it's already at $100 million.
Okay. I got a big question for you.
The Cheetah.
What is the name of this novel writing thing?
National Novel Writing Month.
I have to put that in my notes.
NaNoWriMo.org is the website. Go there, sign up. If you don't do it this year, do it next year. Do it next month if you want to. You don't have to follow their things.
National
Novel Writing Month. It's helped me focus. It's helped me get things done every year for the past 13 years. I think it's 13. I have completed a completed book in my hands. It's crap. It's a horrible, but I got all the time in the world to fix it after that point. So I can go back and massage and change things and correct my spelling, have my quality control team take a look at it. And by the time it's all done, I got a decent book.
And getting back to what Scotty said about, or what I said about Scotty's books on Amazon.com. Yeah, Scotty is a hell of a writer. And if you pick up one of his books, you're going to want to pick up more.
I hope so.
That good.
That's the goal.
So I am looking forward to the next project I get from him to screen.
It's coming soon. As soon as I finish Miser Hills, I'm going to go back and do another rewrite of Bowling Bag in the Back Seat, and then you'll get it probably in February, I guess.
I've always said my favorite so far is Dead Dick. I cannot wait until Miller and Breeze comes out.
Dead Dick's a crazy book.
It is. I wish to God you would do a sequel. I wish you'd do a prequel as to how Richard Keene becomes.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Dick. But I've already got sequel stuff boiling around in my head. And I told you the title. Mm-hmm. The sequel will be Dick Dead Again.
Yeah.
So. All right, folks.
No, real quickly, I got to say what's at our corner theater.
Make it real quick, and just tell us what's playing this weekend. I don't want the
Five Nights at Freddy's. Five Nights at Freddy's.
Okay, let me pause you right there. Watch the Nicolas Cage movie instead. I think it's called Willy's Wonderland. It's much better than.
I haven't heard that.
Yeah, it's that Five Nights at Frankie's and Willy's Wonderland are both based on
Five Nights at Freddy's.
They're both based on a video game. But the Nicolas Cage picture was first, and I like what they did better than what I like the Freddy's.
I like Nicolas Cage in
everything he does.
The vampire.
Everything he does.
Yeah. Renfield. The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, Paw Patrol, the Mighty Movie, Radical, which we believe might be.
It's a Spanish language film. Yeah. I think it's a Mexican film, actually.
Could be. Thanksgiving, which we talked about.
Yep.
Trolls Band Together, coming real soon. Napoleon. I'm quite interested in Napoleon.
Napoleon should be awesome. It should be epic if things go right.
You're going to like this one. Godzilla -1.
Oh, I already got my tickets, dude.
See, I'm not going with the flashback stuff and all that. Wonka looks really good. Timothy Chalamet, I think he's going to be the second best Willy Wonka. Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom.
I want to see that too.
Migration, which I believe is animation.
Okay.
And that's it for what they have showed of new movies coming.
That's at the Ventura Regency Theater down here. It used to be a bargain house. Now it's a first run house, but they still have bargain prices. So compared to other theaters, you can go there and see your favorite movies for a little cheaper. And they're decent theaters too. They're very nice theaters.
Now, if you Google it, you can type, you don't have to type in Ventura Regency. You can type in Buenaventura 6 and it pulls it up.
It also pulls up that team.
A team?
The team of realtors, the Buenaventura 6. You never heard of them?
No.
I just made them up. All right, folks, please visit our friends at The Grape. They are my favorite bar in town by no stretch of the imagination. Great music, great cocktails, and always.
Does The Grape do food?
The Grape has food. They get the food from the sandwich factory next door, which is also excellent. They also have Yolanda's right next door. So why are you looking at me like that?
I didn't know there was a place called Sandwich.
It might be Sandwich Company. It's right there by the hospital.
I didn't know that.
It's excellent. Oh, get the pastrami. Best pastrami.
Oh, yeah. I know the one you're talking about. It's right next door to 99-cent store.
That's not the one.
Oh.
No, it is. All right, we'll see you folks next week. Have a good
Thanksgiving.
By The Grape, Ventura County's premier jazz venue and cocktail lounge, located at 2733 East Main Street in Ventura. For menu and music schedule, visit them online at thegrape.club. This has been a Rough Edge Studios production.